All right, so replacing the valve covers on your B8 Audi S4. As you see, mine are completely filthy and leaking a bunch of oil. So let's take care of that real quick. And if you don't know me, my name is Boss Martin. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more content on the B8 Audi S4 and a bunch of other different cars. All right, so what I have right here are the actual valve covers, the gaskets, and the screws. This is actually one entire kit. So for about 150 bucks, it came with all of these replacement parts right here. These are from partsgeek.com. Now these usually cost about like 150 for the gasket alone. And these should be the exact same OEM parts, so there should be no difference. But all right, so starting on the right side or driver's side, which is the most, I would say, complex side, we're actually going to move the reservoir out the way. So it's going to unclip this right here. Make sure you loosen the screw to actually loosen pressure in the system. If you don't do this, you'll probably spring a leak somewhere, and you don't want that. So go ahead, unscrew that. All right, flathead screwdriver, pop this little silver clip up right here. And that should just wiggle right on off. Just like that. All right, next up, there's two bolts that actually hold the expansion tank in place. So both of these are 10 millimeters, so they are in a pretty tight spot. So use whatever tools available to get them loose. All right, so once all the bolts are loose, you want to try to lift up the reservoir and move it kind of to this little section right here. And it should be some little clips holding it down. I believe there's actually a plug under it too, but you might not need to remove it. It's held down by some little gaskets, but just pop those out. And if you really want to, you can actually drain the whole reservoir and then remove the clip and just slide the whole thing out, but a little bit risky today. And of course, the clip down here at the bottom, just simply unplug that. All right, so not the most ideal position, but it should give us space to actually work in here. All right, so next up is actually the ignition coils. So these right here are two T20s. So these are just fasteners. Just take them out real quick. And I'll link all the tools in the description below. All right, so next thing I'm gonna do is actually blow out this compartment with some compressed air and actually vacuum up any debris that I see around. All right, so now that everything's cleaned off, you can actually go ahead and slide off the little rail right here. So just a small flathead, pull out the little pull tabs. They should slide right on off. So one little touch and then wiggle them all off. And a few of these are broken, so, you know. Here we go. All right, next up, we're gonna pop all the ignition coils out. So these literally, you probably need a pry tool as well, but these should usually just wiggle on out with some force. Just twist it left and right, and it should come out eventually. So just work with it for a little bit. Takes a good amount of force. Don't be afraid, they will not break. Here goes one. And if you properly lube these up before you put your any of your ignition coil installed, they should come out easy like that. There should be no excess force down there. All right, so two more things, or actually three more things. There's this little hose right here has to come off, and this right here is optional. You don't have to take off this little the map sensor, so you don't have to take this off. But last thing is actually removing all the Torx bits on the valve cover. So let's get this off with a flat head real quick. All right, so this breather hose right here is probably gonna be like the most difficult part of the job, because if you break this, you're cooked. So you have to be very gentle with it. I'm gonna use a flat head and just try to work with it. Take your time, don't rush this part right here for both sides. And I want to say there's about 3 points of contact that kind of holds this breather hose on. There's a little groove right here on the back side as well. And you kind of have to leverage all of them very gently to get this up. So just take your time and see how it goes. Okay, check this one right here. All right, so as you see, I got it mostly up. It's just the one in the back that's having some issues. So I did use the 3-tool method, so I had to put one here, one on the side, and then one in with this one right here to lift it up over that little hump right there. And the last part is just the back end. So just prevent these from falling down. Try to get a tool back there to unclip that little back part. Maybe if I come from this angle right here, might be able to get something going on up back there. And for your own good, I would suggest not trying to take the valve cover off first and then rotating this up to make it easier, because this is solid plastic. This will crack and break, and then pretty much have to change your whole, what is it, PCV valve, I believe, or whatever this hose runs to. You have to take the supercharger off and just disconnect everything. Do not want to do that. So just work with it, be patient, don't break anything, take your time. And hopefully I can follow my own advice. There we go, this might be a good angle here. I found the angle. There we go. There we go, found the angle. Perfect. So yeah, it did take three flat heads, but we got it off. Everything seems to still be intact. Move that to the side. It was just this one little groove at the back. Let me give you more details. So these two hold it on the sides, one here and then one on the back side. And then these two little grooves here pushed in under this little groove here. So the main thing, you have to kind of get 3 flat heads, one under here, one under that tab, and then one under there. Get that side lifted up and then go from the back and try to get that little part right there with another flat head. Just kind of lift it up and it should pop right on out. All right, so next up is the actual valve cover. There are 12 screws in total and they're all T30 Torx bits. Can use this right here for a reference. I think this one right here under the rail is going to be a tad bit tricky to get to. So find yourself like a small Torx bit ratchet like this one right here that can fit kind of into tighter spaces, and that should help you out, hopefully. All right, next up, let's actually remove the cover. So like I said, T30, and just get to work on screwing. Going to remove this cable here to give me some more push down space. Get the rail out the way. Just push the tab in, wiggle on up, just like that. And then this little clip right here as well. And for some of the screws at the bottom, they're a little bit more covered in oil, and I do not want to strip those bolts, so I'm going with a little Allen wrench here to kind of scrape out the excess. And then wipe it down real quick. And then spot sight right here and below the actual rail is where this little small wrench right here comes into place. So plenty of space to actually get this in there. The only issue is the leverage, so it's gonna take a bit of force, but that's why you need the little small one. Had a little issue with the leverage, so I put a extension onto a whatever bit fits your wrench and slide it in right here. Now I have way more leverage for this one right here. There we go. So yep, that worked out great. All right, so once all the bolts are unloosed, the next step is to pry up the actual valve cover. If you're struggling with this one down here below there, what I did was I just took the bit, put it in my hand, and twist that one loose. And you can tell that they're all the way up because they stop turning. These are kind of locked in place bolts so they don't come out the actual valve cover. And of course, I use the small ratchet with the leverage to get this one way down here out. Just gotta find the angle. I kind of went from right here and put straight down with the leverage. So next step, like I said, pop off the valve cover. Pry bar, find where the gasket is. Ensure all your bolts are lifted up properly. And go ahead, attack it. There we go. Oh, that's off. So the old one looks. All right, so these are the valves right here. Very beautiful sight to see inside of everything. All right, so next thing up, I'm gonna take a shop towel and actually clean off all this debris on where the gasket actually sits. You take a razor to also scrape away any excess dirt and stuff like that. I'm gonna use some brake clean as well. I'm also clean up all down here where I was leaking a bunch of oil. That way I can tell if it's still leaking later on. So just clean up all this right here. Some little shop towel with brake clean on it. All right, so I just finished cleaning up the valve cover mating surface, and I did the best I could. This is all very smooth to the touch, even though it looks pretty dirty. But I believe this should hold up pretty well. If it doesn't, well, we can blame my cleaning skills, of course, for the very cheap valve cover gasket and seal. So this should work though. All right, next up we're going to install the valve cover now. So just slide this right back where the OEM one was. I'll take my T30 and try to get one of these bolts started. see if we can. All right, so I got the first two in the middle started. I'm actually gonna show you the diagram of how you're supposed to actually tighten these down. I believe you go the left center, right center, and then kind of a star pattern almost. But so yeah, follow that pattern to get everything tightened down, and that should give you a proper seal on the gasket. A little small bolt back there, small wrench, just click it, just keep on working with it. All right, last step, torque these down to 9 foot-pounds, again in the crisscross pattern. The diagram is right here again for you. I believe it's like 107 inch-pounds. I might just have to search it up real quick. But I'm gonna go hand tight because I don't have a proper torque wrench, but 9 foot-pounds is not very much at all. That's just fastening, so don't overdo it because these can break easily. Three. All right, so for number 12 on the bottom right of the valve cover, if you can fit a torque wrench back there, man, all props to you. But other than that, use this small little ratchet here and get that thing hand tight and you should be good. All right, go ahead and slide your ignition coils back in. You can go ahead and replug the harness as well, these 2 points right here. Move your reservoir back, clip everything in, and this side should be good to go. Next to go, slap the breather hose back on. This should just clip right on in. Gentle push down. Get all the tabs are down and in place. All right, cool. One side done. Now it's the left side. Now this side is a little bit different because as you see, I have a ram air intake on here. So the air box is not hard to take off. Just a couple of screws. For my situation, I just literally unclamp right here, lift the air box up out of there, and it's clear and free. Now, if you know anything about the Audi S4, you know that your high pressure fuel pump is sitting right here. So this line right here will not be moved, but as you see, there's clearly no reason to move it in the first place. And down here, get a good example and see how much oil I've been leaking from these faulty, or not faulty, just overused valve cover gaskets. So let's go ahead and get those changed out. So this side is pretty similar. Same thing right here, breather valve hose, 3 screwdrivers, lift that on up out of there. And then you have the same 12 volts, the same 2 T20s on the ignition coil rail. Pop the ignition coils out. And that should be good. For my case, as you see here, there's a bunch of rust, a bunch of debris on this side of the engine specifically. So I'm gonna go ahead and take an Allen wrench and some brake cleaner, get all these bolts cleaned out as best I can so I don't strip them. I suggest you do the same if you're in the same situation as me. All right, same issue on this side. Number 12 is extremely tight down there. This is probably honestly tighter than the other one because it's really right there. Probably best to go from under it like this, find it on that back side. Of course, we got the small ratchet with the extension. Help me out here. All right, so yeah, we did get it loose. This is the worst bolts of the whole project. Gosh, finally. All right, so I got the job done. This looks much cleaner, brand new valve covers. Now I'm gonna start it up, and if everything is on correctly, there should be no check engine lights and there should be no oil leaking out. So let's check that out real quick. All right, so I just finished driving the car and I am pleased to say that there are absolutely no oil leaks that I can see. I've checked both sides, the intake back out, checked the other side as well, and it seems to be good to go. So $150 gasket and valve cover from, Parkey? Pretty good. Now, before I end the video, I want to tell you the trade-off of buying these cheap valve covers. One issue that I had, which caused this job to take 10 hours of me working just for cleaning and things like that, but mainly because this one bolt on the valve cover, that one over there where the coolant reservoir is right here, this bolt actually almost stripped or cross-threaded itself pretty much. So you see how it's kind of cross-threaded. So yeah, this slowed down the whole job. So I had to pop out the grommet inside the actual valve cover. This is the new one. I mean, this is the old one actually. And then this is the new bolt right there. So I took the old bolt and the new grommet and put it into the valve cover over there. And I actually fixed the issue. This took a bit of time to actually get all that done. Besides that, everything else went on very smoothly. Like I said, no leaks. Just kind of a tight space to get to and work with. But besides that, hey, it's a pretty good deal. So check it out, link in the description below. Also link the OEM parts as well if you want to use those. All the tools that I use will be listed down below as well. Have any questions about how the car is doing or any other things about the Audi B8 S4 or Mercedes C300, drop them down in the comment section below. And if this video helps you out, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe as well. It really helps me out. Besides that, thanks for watching.